Good morning to all. Dear students, I hope that you all are keeping fine. Today we are going to discuss about chapter number 18, direct and indirect speech. Dear students, there are two ways of reporting words. That is, you have heard somewhere. You can reproduce the actual words of the speaker, or you can give the substance of the speaker's words in your own words. So it is called a direct speech and indirect speech. Number one, we can see the actual words of the speaker are used. This is called direct speech. Number two, we give the substance of his speech in our own words. This is called indirect speech. So come let us see a little bit briefly about direct speech and indirect speech. For example, I am feeling ill. This is direct speech. Indirect speech, past said that he was feeling ill. Here, said that is word is a second person telling. So, it is a indirect speech. Next, he said, I am playing. This is direct speech. He said that he was playing. Here, that he was it was mentioning about the indirect speech. She said, I am painting. So, what I am doing, it is a direct speech. She said that she was painting. It is a indirect speech. Next, the inspector said, I am glad to be with you today. So, it is the direct speech. The inspector said that he was glad to be with me that day. It is indirect speech. So, how what can change? Did you notice? Yes. Omission of commas, use of that, change of pronoun. So, these are the changes of the noticing words. So, a speaker's word can be reported in two ways. How? It is a direct speech and indirect speech. How we can reported into two ways. Number one, direct speech. Exact words of the speaker. For example, the teacher said to Rajesh, you have a bright future. This is direct speech. Number two, indirect speech, what the speaker has said without using the exact words. For example, the teacher told Rajesh that he had a bright future. That he had a bright future is a indirect speech. So, dear students, how we can change the direct speech to indirect speech? So, come let us see change of tenses. If the reporting verb in the direct speech statement is in present tense or future tense, then it remains same in indirect speech too. No change in tenses. For example, my friends say he is very handsome. This sentence is a direct speech or indirect speech. It is direct speech because one person is telling to another person directly. Second, my friend says that. My friend says that he is very handsome. This is second person. This is the indirect speech because we used that third person, second person is telling to another person. So that says that. Okay. So second example, my granny will say, you need to eat well. My granny will say that you need to eat well. This is indirect speech. Next, if the reporting verb is in the past tense, how we can change? In the direct speech statement, then the verbs within the inverted commas will undergo correspondingly changes in the indirect speech statements. Number first one, simple present, how we can become change into simple past. Number one, example, the girl said, the flower is pretty. It is a simple present tense direct speech. The girl said that the flower was pretty. It is a simple past tense but it is a indirect speech. Number two, present continuous become past continuous. How we can change past continuous present into example, the old man said. The rain is falling very heavily. So this is direct speech, but it is a present continuous speech. For example, second one, the old man said that the rain was falling very heavily. This is past continuous tense, but it is indirect speech. So, how we can change present perfect tense into past perfect? It is direct speech and indirect speech. Example, the principal said the principal said all the students have passed. This is present perfect tense, but it is a direct speech. Past perfect tense, the principal said that all the students had passed. This is past perfect tense, but it is an indirect speech. Next, simple past into past perfect. How? Rogan said Sheetal arrived yesterday. So it is a simple past tense but is direct speech. Next, past perfect, how we can change indirect speech. Rogan said that Sheetal had arrived the previous day. That is indirect speech. Next, models change into their past forms. How? For example, he said she can dance. It is direct speech. She said that she could dance. It is indirect speech. Next, we can see personal pronouns change according to three categories, formulas. First person, subject, second person, object, third person, no change. So, we can see first person. If subject of the quoted verse is in first person, then it will change according to the subject of the reported verb. For example, he said to me, I like coffee. It is direct speech. He told that he liked coffee. He told that. So it is an indirect speech. Second person object, how we can use. If subject of the quoted verse is in second person, then it will change according to the object of reporting verb. For example, he said to me, you look happy. It is direct speech. You told that I looked happy. It is indirect speech. Number 3, if the subject of the quoted verse is in third person, then there will be no change. How? For example, he said to me, she has already left. She has already left. It is direct speech. Number 2, he told that she had already left. It is indirect speech. So, how we can change into pronoun? How we can change the pronouns? For example, I, he, she. You, he, she, they. For example, the doctor said you are getting better. The doctor said that she was getting better. So first sentence is a direct speech. Second sentence is a indirect speech. My is her. How we can make our sentence? This was Jenny said they are my friends. So it is a direct speech. Jenny said they were her friends. It is a indirect speech. How we can use me, him, her. For example, Jenny said he loved me. It is direct speech. Jenny said he had loved her. So it is a indirect speech. How we can use mine, his, hers. For example, Jenny said it is mine. So it is a direct speech. Jenny said it was hers. It is a indirect speech. So how we can change the sentences? Tenses. How we can change the tenses? In general, the present form in direct speech changes to the past form in reported speech. For example, am, is, was, are, were, do, does, did, have, has, had. Well, would, can, would, want, like, know, go, wanted, liked, knew, went, etc. So second, the past simple can stay the same or you can change it to the past perfect. How? Had done, had seen, had known, etc. Next, there are the changes in adverbs of time and places. How? So, dear students, these are the words are very important to learn the adverbs. This, today, these, now, her, here, tomorrow, yesterday, tonight, that day, those, then, that, the following, next day, the previous day, the day before, that night. So, dear students, learn these are the words. Next, we are seeing change of adverbs. How we can change to adverbs. For example, he said, I shall discuss this matter next week. This is direct speech. He said that he would discuss that matter the following week. So, how we can change of the adverbs, but it is a indirect speech. Second example, she said, we shifted to this house 2 weeks ago. So, it is direct speech. She said that they had shifted to that house 2 weeks before. It is an indirect speech. So, come let us see how we can change and how we can use interrogative sentence. Who, where, what. A question is changed into a statement. How? For example, in a direct yes, no question will come. Okay, always will direct speech. Yes means yes, no means no. So we can say if whether reporting verb is changed into a asked inquire if whether is used. She said, are you writing a poem? It is a question mark. She asked me whether I was writing a poem. So, second, I said to him, do you know when she will go home? Next, I asked him if he knew when she would go home. So, these are the difference between direct speech and indirect speech. Next, we are moving on to exclamatory sentence. In exclamatory sentences, reporting verb is changed into exclamated with joy, sorrow, anger, surprise, etc. That is used. For example, he said, how beautiful a place. It is an exclamatory sentence. He exclaimed with joy that it was very beautiful place. So second is a indirect speech. Rogan said, alas, his father died. So it is a direct speech. So dear students, I hope that you all understood what is direct speech and indirect speech. Thank you. Have a nice day.